I met him actually in the late 70s when he was an esteemed president of the National Association of Student Affairs Administrators, and I was a young student affairs administrator. And then later, when he came to the University of Redlands as president, I was very excited because we had a student affairs friendly president, and I thought that was just great.
Well, I met Jim so long ago I don't remember, so that's where we really have to start. But I think that I met him when Robert Pierpoint came and spoke to a group of us who lived in San Francisco. And for those who don't know, Robert Pierpoint was the White Horse correspondent, and he was also a graduate of the University of Redlands. So Jim brought him up to speak to a group of us up there. And it was really, really a great opportunity to get to talk to Jim informally and sort of off the record.
I first met Jim in 1987. We were in a presidential search, much as we are today at this time. And we interviewed him in Ontario. He was one of the last people we interviewed. And he had just come back from Russia, and he was sick when he came. He had a bad cold, and it was late. It was late for the meeting. It was scheduled at, I forget the time, but he was about an hour late. We were sitting around waiting, twiddling our thumbs. Some 15 or 16 people waiting to interview him. And then he came in, and he just blew us away. I mean, we had several prospective presidents, but he was far and away the best. So we knew we had our man just in about 5 minutes. Or I did. Maybe everybody didn't agree with me, but so it was that was a very pleasant meeting, and we're glad he came.
Well, I think it was the spring of 1988 that I got to meet Dr. Appleton. Of course, I had met him in the interview process, I think probably in January, something like that. But it was really the March of 1988 that I really had the opportunity to go to a faculty meeting with Dr. Appleton. In fact, he asked me to join him at the faculty meeting, so of course I was there. And he introduced me to the faculty, and he shared with the faculty a view about the role of intercollegiate athletics in a private liberal arts university such as ours. And I think it was then that I realized, gosh, this is an amazing place with an amazing leader, and one that certainly I've been very proud to be part of for a long time.
He was in his shirt sleeves and in his office, and it was a very different, unusual interview for me because he was very low key, and he didn't have a lot of the presidential trappings around him. So I was initially sort of a little uncomfortable because I was used to the president being all buttoned up and not really having a clue as to what was going on the campus, and here I got the opposite. It was a person who was really sort of dressed down, and at the same time had his finger on the pulse of the entire campus.